I think for Unit 3, the relationship of the Bible to the millennial generation and the Gen Z generation, I will probably make just two longer videos. The first 4 lessons in one video and the last 4 in another. In lesson number 1, we are looking at how Hollywood uses the Bible. We live in a world that is so governed by Hollywood, all those movies, television shows, etc. Well, Hollywood uses Bible motifs to make movies, to make television shows. It uses Bible narratives, actual stories from the Bible. It also uses old Christian stories that were handed down through the ages to make movies. And then there are some serious Christians who work in Hollywood, some producers, even some actors. In a way, Hollywood contributes to the exposure of the Bible in a manner that we did not anticipate would happen. In fact, in this century, Hollywood is extremely active in using biblical material, and inadvertently it's exposing the Bible to many people outside of the Christian world who would never consider actually reading the Bible or going to church. But they're watching a movie about Bible characters or a biblical concept, and they don't even realize they are doing that. So Hollywood is giving a helping hand to the growth of the Bible in the 21st century. In lesson 2, we find that technology is also giving a helping hand to the Bible. All those mobile apps that are available for research, the internet, and all the biblical materials you can find on the internet. Websites like Bible Gateway, you can access almost any Bible in the world. There are study websites where students who are more serious about the Bible can find material and so on. There are CD-ROM resources, things like BibleWorks, so on, that can be used. And ultimately, technology has made it easier to produce the Bible in many languages, and as far as English is concerned, many different versions. And when we realize that, we discover that technology is helping us a great deal. During these past 2 years, with all the disturbances with lockdown and online education and webinars and so on, I discovered that it is the technology that has come to our aid. I can participate in church, I can address in church, I can do a seminar, a Bible seminar, a webinar, all kinds of activities. In fact, I can reach a lot more people through social media, Facebook Live, YouTube channels. I can reach a lot more people using this technology. So technology has really enhanced the communication about the Bible by Bible teachers, by Bible church leaders and pastors. And so this has been a great tool that has been given to us, a great gift. We live in what is called the information age. Okay? And so the Bible is very much influenced by that. For instance, most people these days, when they're looking for a Bible answer, the first thing they will do is Google it. Mr. Google has become the main way of learning something. There are challenges to that, but that's what people are doing. There are free ebooks in PDF format or some other format available all over the internet. And this glut of information was not accessible, was not available when I was doing my studies at any level of study. But today, you don't have to go to a library. You don't have to do anything. You can do all kinds of Bible study and research and deep learning with just your computer in front of you, nothing more. Social network has changed human life. This form of communication through the various types of social network has changed the way we talk to each other, the way we communicate with each other, the way we listen to each other, the way we write, the way we speak. And so many of us are using, myself included, social network to answer Bible questions, to do discussions with people somewhere else in the world. It could be far away, like in Africa or some other part of the world. One of the most common things in this information age are the YouTube sermons. Christians are very active on YouTube. Every church, every pastor almost have their own channel, their own services, their own sermons. And the thing about the information age is it makes all this information, all this knowledge easily available. And that availability is the advantage of the information age. But in lesson 4, we need to come down to earth a little bit. When you have so much information, so many different things, you are also going to have so many different views. And so the internet and all this information available to you at your fingertips causes a bit of a problem. It requires you to learn how to decipher and filter. Not everything you read and see and discover on the internet is necessarily correct or right or good. Even when they say they're interpreting the Bible, they may be giving you the wrong idea. You have to deal with conflicting views. What do you do when you are studying, let's say, a Bible passage, but one view gives you one idea, the other view gives you the opposite idea? Which one is the correct view? You have to decipher that. And sometimes you don't have access to people who could tell you the difference. People have become over-dependent on this information technology, on the internet, on this world around us. And this is a bit of an impediment for those who maybe do not have access, and for those who don't know how to filter what they're accessing. There's a difference between reading a book and just simply scanning the URLs, the websites that you find online. Materials available through Google search or any other kind of search engine lack evaluation. There's no one there telling you, oh, this is not good. I think you should read this one. I think this answer is better. This one is not. So who's going to decide that for you? You have to wrestle with that problem. I will only make one suggestion. Whether you are always on Facebook or always on YouTube or always surfing the net or whatever, that you be selective in what you access, in what you learn. Because if you are not, then your brain will have all kinds of material and they're messing up inside. I can see some of the effect of this with some students, where they know a lot of things, but all these views are conflicting with each other, and those students don't know what to really believe in. I know this, but what is the truth? Knowledge is one thing, wisdom and truth is something different. And so that's the challenge of this information age, the internet, the technology, and of course, Hollywood as well. So I hope you will consider those things as you progress through these 4 lessons. They're all related to each other about this world of knowledge and technology, but you need to learn how to use it right to find the best information about the Bible. All right, the next 4 lessons, 5, 6, 7, and 8, are also related to each other. So again, I will do just one video for them. In lesson 5, we raise the question, is the Bible still relevant today? Well, there are Bible injunctions that tell us we should study the Bible. There are Bible promises about its value to our lives. There are Bible prophecies that prove many of the historical facts that the Bible raises. There are reasons for corporate or group relevance, and there are reasons for personal relevance. My simple answer to this discussion is I think that the Bible is very much relevant, and maybe even more relevant today than it was 100 years ago. Because the challenges we are seeing to human life today, we did not see 100 years or even 50 years ago. And for all of our technological advancement, we are not able to answer those questions. But the Bible can provide that foundation to help us find the best answers, and also to provide values to guide our lives in every area of work and area of personal relationships and so on. And so, yes, I think it is very much relevant. Lesson 6 raises a different question. So if the Bible is still relevant to us, how should we apply it? Can I just read the Bible and then, say, oh, it means this? Well, I think you need to apply some better skills than that. One of the skills is close reading. Read carefully. Read all the details that it's saying. Another skill is thorough observation. Look carefully at what it is saying, at the facts, at the information that is being provided. A third skill is recognize the original purpose. These books are very ancient. The Bible is a very old book. Every book was written with a purpose in mind. Maybe there was a specific audience in view. Maybe there was a specific idea that they were trying to communicate. And understanding that original purpose helps us to figure out, so it meant like that to them. But the situation has changed. But I think the basic principle maybe still works for me. You cannot do that without understanding that purpose. You must also know your context. You and I live in a world that's different from the world of the Bible. Jesus said, I am the bread of life. And bread, which is more like pita bread or the Indian roti, it's not bread for us. Here in Southeast Asia, we don't eat bread as a staple food. We eat rice. So my context is we are rice eating. Does Jesus' teaching still apply? Yes. Think of it more like Jesus saying, I am the rice of life. Because to us, rice is life, like bread was to them. So understanding your context. But I think the most important skill in applying the Bible is this. The Bible says that God's word is alive. So if it is alive, it will keep having an impact in your life. So every conclusion you make must be tentative. Because tomorrow when you study that passage again, you might find a new idea that affects your life. And so it's good to keep tentative or what we call contingent conclusions. Don't be so like, this is it. This is the truth. Nothing more. When you do that and then you learn a new idea, you don't know how to factor that in your life. And so if you apply these skills, then you can apply the Bible to your life and discover its relevance. When we talk about the relevance of the Bible, we also have to deal with another question. So how can we live in the real world by applying the principles of the Bible? Some of them seem out of touch with our world. Well, one way to get around that is to look at the Bible examples. There were people in Bible times who figured out how to live their faith in a very real world setting. Daniel in government in Babylon, Esther as queen in Persia. You see this in the New Testament as well. Paul as a Jewish rabbi, then becoming a Christian leader. We see it in history lessons. Throughout history, Christians wrestle with this question as well. So many of the Christian leaders through the centuries had to learn how to live between the two worlds, the world of the Bible and the world around us. Sometimes those two worlds seem to be in conflict with each other. And yet when we understand how to navigate between the two worlds, then we can live in the present. That's when the relevance of the Bible really comes out to the forefront. And of course, ultimately, you have to learn some personal lessons. You have to figure that out. What can I do? Where do I need to make adaptation? Where do I need to make adjustment? Where do I need to find balance? And when you can do that, then the Bible will become truly relevant to you. In the last lesson, lesson 8, I am suggesting a very important concept of how to get around these questions. Is the Bible relevant? How to apply it into real life? How to live in the real world when the world of the Bible seems so different? And that is to become an informed believer. We have a saying in the Christian world that faith is blind. Well, for some people, it really is blind. They will say things like this. Oh, I believe it because so-and-so told me. I believe it because everybody believes it. That is blind faith. That is not the kind of believer that God is looking for. He's looking for informed believers. What do we mean by informed believers? Well, they're constantly searching for knowledge. They're constantly trying to learn. They are also looking for wisdom, how to put knowledge into actual practice. They deal with the basic teachings of the Bible, but they also consider contemporary issues. For example, abortion. The Bible doesn't actually speak about abortion, so what do? Well, the Bible does speak about life and death. So some of those ideas might help you in deciding issues about abortion. Euthanasia, mercy killing. Many of the modern issues are not directly addressed in the Bible. And so knowledge and wisdom and understanding will help us to become informed believers so that our decisions are not blind. When we do that, I believe you will develop this informed faith. Not blind, but a faith that actually sees, a faith that understands, a faith that says, here's the problem I'm facing with. Here is what the Bible is saying. How do I put the two things together? You will find a way. When you apply knowledge and wisdom and understanding, when you search, when you study the Bible and understand the contemporary issues, and then figure out how to walk between those two issues. And then you will have that informed faith and be an informed believer. When you do that, your life will be good, and the Bible will have great meaning and impact in your life.